What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is a Nostra Talk Show, International Celebrity Talkative number one. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at the screen, you will see a message. Someone sent me that message, and he said, "Hi, Anosco." He said he's been abroad for 3 years now. That ever since he traveled, that he's never seen himself in abroad in his dream. So whenever he dream, he always see himself in the village in Nigeria. So I decided to kind of talk about this a little bit because there are a couple of things, there are a lot of things going on, especially those people who are away from home. So most times when certain things happen, we always want to associate it with home. We always think that someone is manipulating us or something. In fact, there is this thing that they say, village people. So anybody that is not at home always feel that people in the village have their time. So whenever things are not going well with them, they think it is people in the village. Whenever whatever that happens to them where they are, they always feel that it is coming from the village, so they call it manipulation. So when I got this message from my friend, I would say he's a friend, right? Because we've been talking, you know so he sent me that message, and I asked him, how old are you, sir? So he said he's 40. So he turned 40 August this year, and this is 3 years in the States. And so basically he came to the States when he was 37. So, and I asked him a few questions, right? So here are my questions. Where did you do your nursery school? He said in his village. I said, cool. What about your primary school? He said it's in the village. Okay. Your secondary school? He said in the village. Did you go to university? He said yes. Where? He said also in his state. In your state? That means in Nigeria. He said yes. I said, did you do National Youth Service? He said yes, that he did his NYXC. Where? In Nigeria, of course. Where else? Fine. So, and I asked him, so you've been to America for 3 years. Like, you've been in America for 3 years. He said yes. I said, so you expect your memory of 3 years in America to erase a 37-year-old memory that you've had of Nigeria? You see, so this is the problem, because I went into details, like I went into conversations with him. I said, okay, so tell me how everything has been going and everything. So he told me that when he first got here, he started having a dream of himself when he was in the airport. He started having a dream of where he was in his village, in his main compound, where he was you know weeding, where he was weeding the compound, because it was grown with small, small grass, small, small weed. So he was weeding his father's compound and all of that. So I said, okay, so when you had those dreams, what do you do? He said he called his spiritual father. So his spiritual father, basically his pastor, and the spiritual father told him that he will have to send some money, about 500,000 or 1 million naira, so they can set up an altar for him. That there is an altar in his father's compound that is speaking against him. That altar is speaking against him for them to deport him. So whenever he sees himself in the dream, whenever he is in the dream and he sees himself, in the village, in his father's compound, that there is a power or a force from his father's compound that is manipulating him for them to deport him back home. So, and I told him, so, okay, so what did you do? He said, yeah, he sent the money to his spiritual father for them to do the stuff. So the reason why he was reaching out is that the thing has continued to happen. He has continued to see himself in the village while he's in dream. So I told him, I said, listen, everything is not spiritual. Everything is not spiritual. If you want me to tell you, and I'm going to tell you, that there is nobody in your father's compound that is manipulating you. Nobody. No one from your father's compound is manipulating you. In fact, if someone was manipulating you from your father's village, you wouldn't have even traveled in the first place. you wouldn't have even traveled in the first place. So this is it, dear brothers and sisters. Let me tell you the truth. This is 6 years. This is my 6 years in America, right? 6 good years. And since I've been here, all my dreams are about Nigeria. Every dream that I've had since I've been here, I've never seen myself in a dream where I'm in America. I've never. And to those who are close to me, I always tell them, I have never seen myself in America in my dreams before. I always see myself in the village, in my father's compound, my old compound, not even the new place, my old compound. Each time I dream, I always see myself in my old compound where I grew up, not the new compound where, where I'm building a house or where, I moved to my family. No, my old compound. Do you know why? Because I spent 30 years of my life there. 30 good years of my life I spent there. Or 31, let me say 31 years of my life I spent there in that very compound. So that is where my memory is. The new site where they gave, even before I left Nigeria, that new place now, there was no building there. So how do you expect my memory to remember? If I have a dream of that place, it was when it was the bush, when we were cultivating cassava there, when I used to go check my dad's trap, that place. That is the only memory of that place I have, not with this building, with the building that is in there now. So 31 years of my life that I had my primary, secondary, higher institution, you expect 6 years of memory in America to erase that completely? That is not possible. It is not possible. So when I have a dream where I'm in the village playing with my friends, and someone is going to tell me that it's because somebody is manipulating to bring me home. Ever since I brought my mom to America, that is where, I stopped hearing my mom talk to me about the plans of the enemies for them to deport me and all of that. When my mom was at home, each time I talked to her, every day I talked to her, it's about how she went to this church or the other church, and the men of God told her to pray hard that they want to, deport me and all of those things. So since she's been here, nobody has, saw a vision for her how they want to deport me and all of those things. So whenever things are not going well with you, whenever, let's say you do a business and the business didn't go well, instead of you to start thinking about who is responsible for it, why not first of all sit down and ask yourself certain decisions that you made that were not too good, or things that you should have done better to stand a better chance of being successful in that business? Why do we always think that there is somebody behind our predicament? I know sometimes when I say these things, some people will be like, oh yeah, you're saying this thing because you've traveled, you don't stay at home anymore. What? No, I'm not trying to say that I do not understand that part of the world where we come from is very evil. Yes, I have to be honest with that. I have to be honest with that. Because the reason why we go to church every day, 24/7, live in the church to pray and cast out demons and all of those things. Demons exist, though. They do. Even God himself acknowledged it. That is why God is the head of all principalities. What that means is that there are other principalities. So I'm not trying to say that there are no evil going on there. There are evils going on there. But what I'm saying is that, why do we always think about evil first whenever things are not going well? Or even things that are happening ordinarily, naturally. Why do we want to associate it with village people? Sometimes even these village people that we're talking about are busy trying to find a way they would eat or even take care of their own businesses. They're not even thinking about you. So that energy that you are dedicating, thinking about one uncle or one brother or one sister from your maternal or paternal home who is against you, why not channel that energy? Pray more, work more, put it towards positive energies and things could turn around. So, bro, I want to tell you that you seeing yourself in the village is normal. Nobody is manipulating you. It is normal. It is as a result of your years of memories, years of experiences. That is what it is. Nothing more. Nobody is calling you. The last time I went home, I was with my guys, my friends, people that I grew up with. And we were telling stories of, how we played around in secondary school and higher institution. We talked about how we gossip our professors, our teachers, gossip about girls and all of those things. These conversations can only happen in Nigeria, in our village settings. It can only happen there. We talked about those things. Over here in the States, what we do is we go to work. If you are going to school, studying here and abroad, when you get there, you face your studies. The moment you get out of class, if you have a Nigerian person who is in the same class with you, you guys can say hello, hi. You don't even spend up to 2 minutes and talk. Certain words, certain jests that we make at home for fun, if you make those statements here, you will go to jail. If you make those statements here, you will be sued. If you make those statements here, you will get in trouble. I'm talking about abroad. If you make those statements abroad, you will get in trouble. Is it that somebody will sue you for sexual harassment, or they will sue you for this or that? But those are normal things that we say at home in Nigeria, where we come from. So when you see yourself in the dream while abroad, like you reside abroad and you've been abroad like less than 5 years or thereabout, and you dream where you are in the village, nobody is manipulating you from the village. There is no uncle or auntie that is manipulating you. These are years of memories that you've had. Are you getting what I'm saying? To me, that is what it is. Next time we'll talk about having sex in the dream. A lot of people talk about how they have sex in the dream and how some people tell them that they have spiritual wives and spiritual husband. I don't want to talk about that now. We'll talk about it later. Put in the share button. You could help a brother who always calls you and tell you that they're having dreams, about them being somewhere. Nothing is wrong with you. If something is wrong with you, it should be something else. You having a dream where you are. I'm not saying that nobody is manipulating you. I'm not saying that it is not possible that somebody can manipulate you. All I'm saying is that you living abroad, or you have been in overseas for like 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It is normal for you to still dream and see yourself at home because you have so much memories at home. That's what it is. Some people sometimes they could say, oh yeah, it's because your placenta was buried there, in your village or at home or something like that. I don't expect my 5-year-old daughter who was born in Los Angeles, California, to dream about Nigeria. She has no memory about Nigeria. She has no memory about Nigeria. If she dreams, she's going to dream about America because she's born here. She has no memory at home. So when I dream about me being in the farm, me being in our local market pushing wheelbarrow because I used to push wheelbarrow. Me seeing myself grinding cassava for people because that was what I used to do. Me seeing myself, doing those things, playing soccer, in our streets, because that was for 31 years of my life in Nigeria. That was the memory. That is the only thing you can see in my head. So me having those reoccurring dreams does not mean that anybody is manipulating me for me to be deported back in Nigeria. No, absolutely not. Take care of yourself. Be positive. Be positive. You all.